First of all, let me tell you why it's a need for the Marc Baxter Show. You watch talk shows, you watch judge shows, all they do is take. They take from us constantly. We're giving them our undivided attention. We're sitting here, we're putting our families on hold, our kids on hold in some instances. Sometimes we've taken time to cook dinner for our kids. Come on. To watch Maury, to see who's the dad. Come on, stop playing. It's a new day. It's 2012. It's time that someone gives you something back. Wouldn't you like, just paint the picture, right? I'm going to paint it for you. Wouldn't you like to watch a talk show perhaps and sit and actually get something back, get entertained, have a start, interviewed, but at the end of the day, you can leave with some principles for living a higher impact life, or leave with some insights on how to grow and live a better life? This is where I come at. The Marc Baxter Show, where empowerment is unlimited. This division for the show. For the first 4 weeks, it's just going to be me, Marc Baxter, yours truly. I'm going to be in your face. You're going to think about me when I'm gone, but it's all good. That's the hope. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you with something to grow on. After that, I'm going to bring in an interviewee each week. People that are doing big things in our society. Some people you may know, some people you may not know. But the difference that what I'm going to do as compared to the other talk show hosts is I'm going to focus on some of their accomplishments, but not so much on their celebrity and then leave you stuck on the couch, wishful thinking, feeling intimately close to them for a second, and now feeling like they're so far away from you because now they're back in their mansion in Beverly Hills and you're stuck waiting on the next episode. I'm going to focus on their journey and some things you can do to do better in your life. All right, you ready for me? Hey, I am. You ready for me? All right, come on, let's take a walk. All right. Now here go the picture, right? We walking, right? And we in the best part of the city. The scenery is great. The people are out. The birds are chirping. The sun is just right. All the cars are passing by. The cool breeze. Everything is great. All right. But we're not going to focus on the scenery. We're going to focus on problems, strengths, and weaknesses. Now let me define what I mean by problems, strengths, and weaknesses. Problems are those things that just happen abruptly. Those things that you can't plan for. Flat tires, loss of money, burglaries, bad information, family problems, relationship problems. That's what problems are that I'm talking about as, okay? Weaknesses. These are the things that no matter how hard you try, you're just not good at it. I mean, hey, listen, it's the cards you're dealt. We're all the same. We all have them. Weaknesses. Then we got strengths. That's what we all love, right? To promote our strengths. These are the things that you just do well. No matter if you try hard or you don't, you do them well. These are the things that, for the most part, we're always trying to promote because it makes people feel good about us and we like the reception that we get. But I have news for you. That doesn't equate to growth. In order for us to really grow, why would we always focus on our strengths and promote our strengths? If we're already good at it, then that means we're about 80-85% proficient. So why do we want to promote that when there's not much room for growth? We only can get to about 95% proficiency. So if we're at 85%, we only got a small window for growth. The key to growth is promoting your weaknesses. Because if you're weak at it, you're probably only about 20-25% proficient. And you got so much room, about 70% to grow if you're not strong at it. So the key is, be proud of your strengths, but don't promote them. Focus on your weaknesses because you know why? When you focus on your strengths and you start standing behind your strengths start representing you. And what happens when your job represents you because you brag about it and you're so happy you got a good job? What happens when your finances represent you? You got a lot of money. What happens when you allow your whip, your car to represent you? You got a fly whip. What happens when you allow your beauty to represent you? You look good. All of those things are superficial. They fade. They all fade. So what happens when you become identified by your strengths is that when your strengths fade, so do your soul. The true key is to accept yourself, be recognized for your character, your conduct, and your commitment, because you can always maintain that. All right? Now, basically, this is the thing. Let me ask you a question, right? How many of you feel like, why is my life so hard and other people's lives seem so easy? It's almost as if they always have it easy, but me, I gotta always go the hard route to get what I need to get accomplished. Well, I have the answer for you. To much is given, much is required, okay? Your life seems hard because that's the way you receive it, but it's consistent with your skill set. Now, if you really want to have an easier life, this is what you do. Give up all your strengths and your entire skill set, and you'll have an easier life. But this is the catch. Because you would have given up your strength and your skill set, you won't even realize that you have it easier because now you don't have the skill set to recognize it. So stop complaining, deal with the cards that you were dealt, and make it a better life, okay? That's what you need to do. Make it a better life. Stop complaining and deal with the cards that you were dealt. Now let me ask you a question. If I put a bucket right in front of you, right? And if I say, look, put your hand in the bucket, what do you feel? Come on, Mark, don't make me put my hand in the bucket. Look, put your hand in the bucket. Let me see what you feel. Ah, that's hot. Man, why you tell me to put my hand in the bucket? Okay, it's hot to you. Let me put my hand in it. It feels cold to me. Who's right? Who's wrong? I mean, I posed the question, who's right? Who's wrong? I got the answer for you. We're both right. You know why? Because it's all about how we perceived it to be. If it's hot to you, I can't tell you it's not hot to you. But if it's cold to me, you can't tell me that it's not cold to me. It's all about perception. And if you remember in the beginning of the Marc Baxter show where empowerment is unlimited, when I said problems, strengths, and weaknesses, well, I only covered weaknesses and strengths. Now I'm going to cover problems because, see, this is the key. See, when you're dealing with these problems, they happen so abruptly that you need practice with handling it. See, you can deal with your weaknesses because you already know that you're weak at it. So if you don't do math well and they tell you on this test or in this discussion we're going to ask some math problems, then you have time to get yourself together so you can hide that you're not good in math, and you can anticipate it, and you can develop some coping strategies or some defense mechanisms to camouflage your weaknesses. But you can't camouflage problems because they come abruptly. But I have 5 steps for you to handle your problems, and it'll give you a higher impact life. All right? Now, we remember what problems are, right? Problems are those things that happen abruptly: relationship issues, financial issues, car crash incidents, things that just happen. People run up on you in the street, things that you didn't anticipate. Those are the things that we have to work on. So here's the 5 steps. Y'all ready? Because I'm ready to give it to y'all. Are y'all ready to receive it? I mean, y'all just sitting there looking at me. I mean, are y'all really ready? All right, here we go. The first step to handling problems is you must first accept it. Okay, I crashed my car. It is what it is. I didn't anticipate it. I only had it for a month, but it's a car crash. That's why I have insurance. So you have to accept it. Because, see, what you do when you don't accept your problems is this. You start overthinking, getting fixated on the issue. Now you're thinking, oh, shucks, she called me at 2 o'clock in the morning, and if she didn't call me, I would have never walked, I would have never drove the car, and I would have never gotten the accident. That has no relevance on the issue at hand, which is you crashed. So ultimately, save yourself some trouble, save yourself some time, some energy, and just accept it. Accept that you have a problem. That's the first step, all right? The next step, you have to understand it. How am I going to understand the problem, Mark? I'm distraught. I'm emotional. You know, I'm thinking like I don't have this money to fix this. How am I going to accept the problem? Well, this is how you accept this is how you understand the problem. Understand that you're not the only one, or this is not the first time that this problem has happened to anyone, okay? So because this has happened to people before, there's a reasonable solution already established for it. It's happened already. Don't beat yourself up and think it's the end of the world because you're not the first person that this happened to. People going through this very issue right now. So first you got to accept it. Then you have to understand it. Listen, I'm going to drop this on y'all. I hope y'all listening because this one is big. You got to be thankful for it. I know it's hard. How in the heck can I be thankful when I just locked myself out of the house? How can I be thankful when I just got fired from my job? How can I be thankful when my 401k just got messed up in the state of this terrible economy? Well, this is the reason why you got to be thankful for it. You have to be thankful for it because it could be worse. How many situations have you been in which you didn't accept it, you didn't understand it, and you fixated on what coulda, shoulda, or woulda happened, and now you made the situation worse than it originally was? That parking ticket you got, you remember that? It started at $30. The heck with it, I'm putting it under the carpet. 10 days later, it's $65. Now it's $115 and they're threatening to boot your car. All you have to do is accept it, understand it, and be thankful for it. Pay them the $30. Now you wouldn't be going to court with potentially to get booted. That's why you have to be thankful for it, because it could always be worse. All right, now we got your emotions intact. Now we can take some preventative measures to correct it, okay? So that's step number 4. Make an action plan to correct the problem. That's step number 4. You can't do that being emotionally distraught, blaming other people, not being accountable that you got this problem. You have to accept it, understand it, be thankful for it. Now you got a plan of action for it. All right? Now this is the biggest one, because I mean you can have 4 pieces to the 5 pieces, but you ain't got a whole till you got the 5th piece. So you need all of them. So this is the big part of it. And I know you're not going to like it, because I don't really like it, but it's necessary. Number 5 is you have to experience and absorb every aspect and nuance of the problem. Mark, why do I want to continue to feel this part of it, feel that part of it, or keep reflecting on it? That's not doing anything for me. I hate the fact that this happened to me. I understand. But this is the reason why you have to absorb it, and you have to understand it all, and you have to accept it and embrace every aspect of it. A mistake not learned from is bound to be repeated. If that problem is $1 worth problem, the problem's worth $1, right? You only get 60 cents from it. You owe some change, homie. You owe some change. And you just can't sweep that 40 cents under the rug and walk off in the sunset, even if you resolve the problem, because you owe 40 cents. Absorb the entire $1 of the situation so you can learn everything about it so you won't repeat it. Absorb all of it. Get all that you're supposed to get out of that situation. A mistake not learned from is bound to be repeated. This is one thing, right? And I'm sure we all have this in common. When we were younger, 8, 9, 10 years old, we'll sit around. We'll say, hey, Jimmy, yo, Larry, yo, Mark, what you want to be when you grow up, right? And everybody got the same responses as you probably heard. I want to be rich. I want the nicest whip. You know, I want the biggest mansion. I want the best gear, so forth and so on. But when we really ask that question seriously, you know, I answered a little different than the other kids, and they would be like, Mark, stop tripping. Why are you talking to this and that? But when they ask me, what you want to be when you grow up, what you want to be remembered as, I'm thinking legacy all the way. So I'm like, I want my birthday retired. The people in our society that got their birthday retired, that's exciting to me, because it's like they put it all on the line and they impacted society. Like, that's important to me. Like, that made me, I mean, look, it made me proud. So that's what I want. That's what I wanted as a kid. And they would laugh and say this and that. I don't know. It's just the drive has been in me. Maybe it's from my low socioeconomic environment I grew up in. Maybe it's making my own decisions since I was 15. Maybe it's never feeling like I really had support growing up. Maybe that's contributed to it. But I'm the consummate optimist. I always think I can do better and strive to do better. So this is my message to you. If you ask me what drives me today, what do I want to be when I grow up, even though I'm grown? I still want my birthday retired. Will it happen? Maybe not. Maybe. Is it possible? Probably not likely. It could possibly happen, but you know why I do it, right? Because as long as you're moving forward, full speed, and your heart is pure. See, you can't have your heart clogged with jealousy, envy, unforgiveness, hatred. See, when you got those things in your heart, what happens is it blocks your vision. So you could see a apple of opportunity, but in essence, what it is it's a banana of deceit, because you're not seeing clear because your heart is clogged. So as long as you're moving forward, your heart is unclogged and is pure, and as long as your motivation is right. See, your motivation is the reason that you want to get to that goal. And if your motivation has anything to do with helping others or inspiring others, making someone else's life better, then you're probably on the right track with your motivation. Never give up on your dreams. Listen, this is your life, your most prized possession. This is the very reason why you were created and put on this earth. How dare you diminish it? How dare you not seize the moment? This is what we're here for. Let me give you an example to help you out, right? Just be like a car. You like my dip? Just be like a car, right? And you know what I do? I just drive. No matter what happened, I keep my hand on the wheel and I watch the road. I just drive. When I have problems and adversity, you know what I do? I ball it up and throw it in the tank. When I have a success or, my strengths are operating and I'm on a high level, you know what I do? I ball it up and throw it in the tank. So no matter what happens, I'm constantly driving forward. Now you may ask yourself, damn, you driving forward, you got the same car, but guess what? I'm never stopping. I'm driving forward. And as you continue to drive, what you'll notice is this. You'll see the road much more clear. Less speed bumps in the road. Less cars on the road as well. Less, it's not as crowded. You know why? Because for some reason, you're just pulling away from the crowd. Because their heart not pure. You know what I'm saying? Their decision making is not right. They're hiding their weaknesses. Don't tell nobody. They're hiding their weaknesses. Listen, let me tell you something. If you put all this into play and you keep driving your car and you keep moving forward and you keep making the right decisions, then you never give up on your goals. Anything's possible. Anything's attainable. Keep your focus. That's what you need to do. Keep your focus. Let me tell y'all something. We just entering in a new year, right? I celebrated. You celebrated. Fine. Why do we have to wait a whole nother year to make resolutions? Who made the rules here? Listen, make resolutions weekly. You know why? Because you got to keep challenging yourself and pushing yourself. Make weekly resolutions. This is the whole key with making resolutions and goals. They just got to be reasonable and attainable. So if I've been biting my nails for 20 years, right? And all of a sudden it's 2012 and you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to stop biting my nails cold turkey because it's 2012. It doesn't make sense. The behavioral trends have showed that over the past 20 years, this is not a reasonable and attainable goal for you. So how about if you bite your nails 10 times a day, how about make a goal to say, I want to bite my nails only 5 times a day going into the new year. And then you can titrate down more and say, well, I'm only going to bite my nails 1 time a day. And then you can fade it out and truly extinguish the behavior because then you can overcome it. Listen, be real about your goals and your aspirations. Listen, people, the time is now. Listen, you've been waiting your whole life for this moment. You've been building up for this moment your whole life. You've dreamt for this moment. You've sat down and discussed this moment with people. Now the time is here and you don't want to seize the opportunity. You don't want to seize the moment. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?